And welcome back. Project Renewal is a New York City homeless services not-for-profit renewing lives through innovative healthcare, homes, and job programs. The organization's culinary arts training program offers 6 months of classroom and internship training in the food service industry to low-income and formerly homeless adults. Joining me now to share more is Project Renewal's City Beet Kitchen's director, Barbara Hughes, as well as the training and quality manager, Richard Ralph. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us here.
Glad to have you. And so, Barbara, I'll start off. Tell us a little bit about the organization and the work that goes on.
We are a large homeless services agency. We have over 1,000 employees, and 100 of those people work in our food service programs. I've been with Project Renewal for 31 years, I'm proud to say, and was brought on to develop the jobs part of what our mission is. And that was to create a culinary training program because we recognized then that there was a need in this city for jobs. Obviously, now more than ever, we need jobs. And these are jobs and training that can be done with a lot of barriers that no barriers that a lot of other jobs have. We don't require a high school diploma or a GED. You have to have a sixth grade reading level and be able to stand on your feet. But other than that, if someone wants culinary job training in the city, this is the place to come.
Yeah, when we talk about culinary jobs training, obviously the culinary arts has become one of the more growing industries. It's always been there, but it seems as though that there is this growing passion amongst people to kind of like show their stuff off.
Yeah, and so many of the folks that come to us, and they're coming to us at this point, we used to have to go out and really pound the pavement looking for people. But after all the years that we've done this program, people know about us. They know that they don't have to spend a lot of money, take out a loan to come to our program. It's intensive, it's 6 months long, but at the end of that is a chance to get a job, get lots of support while you're in the program, and we will work with you until you don't want to work with us anymore. If someone gets a job and it doesn't work out, they can come back. We'll keep working, and we really, really do in this program what Project Renewal prides itself in doing is meeting each person that we work with where they are. What can we do for you? How can we help you? How can we help you put your life together? And our part, of course, is getting a paycheck.
Yeah. Richard, talk about your time with the program. What's it meant to you?
The program holds a special place with me because as a person that was formerly incarcerated, being a felon coming out back into society, and trying to renew myself, if you will, Project Renewal was the stepping stone that helped me to start directing myself in a positive path again when it comes to redoing things in my life. Um, Project Renewal, especially City Beats, uh, is held dear to me because it allowed me to reinvent myself, especially in a passion that I never really thought I would see myself, which is culinary arts. Came out in 2017, picked up with Project Renewal in 2018, did the culinary training, the 6 month program, enjoyed it intensely. I was able to go out there and really show my stuff when it comes to culinary, something that I never even thought that I would pursue.
Yeah. And that's interesting you say. It's something that you thought you really didn't think you were going to do, right? And here you are doing it. And you're also now the training and quality control manager. So what does that job entail?
Uh, I help to train the food handlers that come on board with us, and one part of the what City Beats does is we send food out to other homeless shelters, and we also provide a service where our servers go out and actually serve the food on site. and I assess how we're doing with that. I ensure that the quality of food that comes out of the kitchen is up to par to New York health standards and what we want to present as a food company. Um, and I just pound the pavement and just make sure that we're on the up and up when it comes to the quality of work that we want out there.
And Barbara, it's got to be a great feeling to see a young man such as Richard, who actually graduated from the program, and now he's fully entrenched in the work of the kitchen, and now making sure that everything is good for the state and good for the company.
I have to say, Richard's being very modest. He's one of the best employees that we have. Of the 100 employees I mentioned that do food service at Project Renewal, 44 of those people have graduated from our culinary training. And what we always want as we train people, and they don't all come and work for us, is to create a career path for people. And a lot of our folks are happy just doing a job where they have a supervisor and they get a paycheck and they can go home to their family, and it's a little bit more for Richard. And he's just been one of our top managers. We have 14 managers. He's up there at the top, managing some of the other managers. And, I can't say enough about what a great job he's done.
Yeah. At what point was the turning point for you, Richard, to say, listen, I'm going to parlay this into a career? Because obviously, as you said in the beginning, it really wasn't what you wanted to do. But to have an opportunity to take this and now translate it into, a job and a career, what point was that for you?
I would definitely have to say it's the quality of people that are here at Project Renewal. I've just been blessed to just be introduced to a line of people as I went along that were in management ahead of me, who some are no longer with us, but they instilled a lot of things in me. They helped me to remind myself of who I was, prior service veteran, Marine, and Army, and just helped to direct me and guide me in the culinary program. I started to love cooking. I started to love just being able to serve the community in the aspect of giving out to those that are in need. It allowed me to take pride in what we were creating and wanted to do better and be a part of the system here to improve it, as where I could see that I could help improve it.
Barbara, share with me a little bit about this, because when we talk about New York City and where we are today, obviously there's a huge affordability crisis in the area, being able to just survive. And you see people are not just unemployed, but they're underemployed. When we talk about a homeless population, they're not necessarily the the ones that we would normally see and equate, if you will, but they're that underemployed group. They're the people who are still, trying to make it, but yet and still, there's an affordability crisis we have to contend with.
There is, and I'm proud to say that Project Renewal and City Beet Kitchens, our social enterprise, our business that we run, have raised the minimum wage at Project Renewal up above what New York City is, and we are constantly looking and trying to figure out on a leadership level how we can even do more, because we understand that I read a number this morning that flabbergasted me. Most families in New York City, 50% of them are living in poverty, what the poverty level is. And these are folks that we work with. Many of the people that we work with are middle-aged, and we've got to do something about it. I feel like we're part of the solution, and we're working hard to keep moving forward, being that solution.
When you talk
Or I
about,
should this solution.
yeah, I mean, you talk about 50% of New Yorkers actually living in poverty. That's a huge statistic compared to what we've seen, in years past. Talk to me about what you've seen, and these numbers continuing to rise.
Well, it's not just. I mean, we talk a lot in City Beet Kitchens and in food service about food justice, but it's everything, and. Uh, it's finding a place to live, it's feeding the children, it's getting a job, it's rising in that job. And we've just got to figure out how to take a holistic approach to all this. And I think, at least in our small world of Project Renewal, when we say health, homes, and jobs, we're talking about everything that has to be addressed to help people break out of this. And you know, we've got a long way to go, and we work with a lot of partners to try to do this. But collectively, I hope we're going in the right direction.
Before I get back to Richard, let me ask you one more question, Barbara, about where we are, because not only are we talking about affordability, you're talking about, food insecurity. One thing that COVID really further exacerbated, I think, for New Yorkers was the fact that that there are such huge numbers of people who are actually living in food insecurity.
They are, and we've just got to talk about that as being a piece of people living in poverty. It's not just food insecurity. It's not just having food. It's having all the things that you have to have, as well as that, to be whole. So I think we have to put poverty in the same sentence as any of the insecurities that people have.
Yeah. Richard, when you look at your journey and you see where you've come from, how does City Beet Kitchens fit in your journey?
I would say that it is definitely the light at the end of the tunnel. There was been a point in my life where I did a lot of destructive behaviors and stuff like that, which led to my incarceration. And once coming out, I had no idea of what I was going to do, what route I was going to take, stuff like that. I then fell upon the Project Renewal flyer while at the veteran hospital, and that was like the answer to all my questions, and I went with that. And at first, it was just like, okay, I'm going to use this as a stepping stone, and then I'm going to pursue something else. But once I got in there, met the people at Project Renewal, went through the training, and saw how well I did, especially the smiles I was able to put on people's faces with the quality of food that I was able to create. It almost became an art to me. And because of that, Project Renewal really holds a special place in my heart. And I feel that anyone that is able to use this program would see that in themselves and in the program to better start a new life in a sense.
Yeah, talk to me about you. Producers tell us that you're a veteran as well.
Yes.
Well, first of all, thank you
Yes.
for your service, and we appreciate your service to the country. Um, Being a veteran, really coming out of the military and getting back into this mainstream society, a lot of changes, a lot of adaptation. You got to pretty much get back to that workforce. Talk to me about why do you feel it's important for people possibly who've been in the service to really have this kind of workforce development.
It definitely is a luxury, not a luxury, but a necessity, I would say, for veterans coming out of service, because a lot of us that come out of service do not have directions of how to transition from the military service into civilian. There are a lot of outlets out there, definitely, but some of us still struggle to conform to civilian life after the service. Programs like Project Renewal definitely gives us a sense of purpose, sense of direction, especially for those of us that are quote unquote clueless of what to do next. Um, and I would say that's definitely how I use Project Renewal. Um, I definitely think it would benefit many veterans and all people of the walks of life when it comes to the program that is situated here and stuff like that.
You talk about being clueless and not knowing what's next. Well, now that you're doing Project Renewal and Sea Beach Kitchen, talk to me about what's next for you.
I hope to make this a long-lasting career. Barbara's been here 31 years. I'd like to match that if possible.
Barbara, you got somebody who wants to keep you company over there, huh?
Yeah, I do. And Richard, we're working on a plan for the future, a 3 to 5 year vision, and he's going to be a very integral part of all that.
Well, when you talk about looking at a person like Richard, obviously he gives you, he's one of your shining stars. And he's a guy that really has come through the program, graduated from the program, and now goes on to branch out to do the work that he's doing. What kind of incentive do you think that gives to people who've come to the program who, like Richard said earlier, may just be a little clueless and not know which way to go?
Everyone that comes to us needs somebody to look up to. And sure, they can look at me and say, "Oh, you've been doing this for a long time," and I have plenty of passion. But Richard walked the walk. He talked the talk. He does it. He works on the weekend. He cares. It's his passion. That's why I love him so much. He's got like so much passion, and I do too for this work. And we have plenty of other people that do that. But he is the role model you dream about having in your program, at your workplace, if you're doing this kind of work. And he doesn't let us down in that way.
Yeah. With the success comes the struggle. What kind of challenges are you facing right now in this environment, given the fact that we've got so much that you're contending with, affordability, food insecurity? Talk to me about some of the challenges you're having.
Well, I think we're having trouble recruiting people into our program, and we're out there like talking about us. We're on social media. We need more people to come into the program. It's a great program. Of course, we always need funding. We get a lot of support from the City of New York, from the City Council, and we have grants from the state and private funders and private foundations, but we need support. Like so many other programs, we were decimated as far as our training program is concerned during COVID. We're still building back, and we need support.
Yeah, I was saying earlier about how COVID has really further exacerbated food insecurity, but we know that work staffage and having people to take part, go to work on a daily basis, that's been a challenge. So I can imagine programs also feeling the pinch there too.
Yeah, and food service is hard work. I mean, talk about 50%. 50% of everyone in this country has done some kind of food job. So we all know how hard it is, standing on your feet, showing up. You've got to show up. You've got to be there. You've got to be motivated to work. And that's not so easy for a lot of people. And that's something that we work really, really hard on. And I think we've been relatively successful doing it.
Yeah. So if people want to be of assistance and help out or possibly even take part in the program, what's required and what's necessary?
They need to go to our website, projectrenewal.org. They'll get all the information they need. All you have to do is leave your phone number, your name, and we will get back to you for whatever reason it might be, to donate money, to come into the program, to volunteer, anything. We think it's the right place to be.
Yeah. Richard shaking his head in affirmation. What do you want people to know before we go, Richard?
That definitely, if you are lost in what to do next and you definitely want a sense of direction, come join us. Find a passion in food. You know, even if it doesn't lead you to a career, you make better food at home, definitely.
I think we all can do better in that area, right? So, that's a good outlet to get there. I want to thank you, Richard, for again your service and to our country, and then again for being a great example of what it means to actually be on the road to turning life around and making better choices. And now you got a great career that's right in front of you. Thanks a lot, Richard, for taking the time with us. And also, Barbara Hughes is the director of Project Renewal City Beet Kitchens. Barbara, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All righty. Well, we are taking a quick break right here on the Social Justice Forums. We'll be right back right after this.